Will you be running for president again?
Now you sound... Now, she waited till the end of the program to sound like a mainstream media person.
Well, do I continue to sound that way if I ask you, would you ever consider leaving the Democratic Party that you are actually not a part of?
Well, let me answer the question. 4 years is a long time. I've got to, I'm going to be running for re-election most likely in 2 years from Vermont to the Senate. And there's just an enormous amount of political work that has to be done. At this moment, I think, as now having been recently appointed a member of the Democratic leadership, my job, with the help of everybody in this room, look, we're going to ask a lot from you. And here's the bad news. We don't want just your money. See, and one of the things that bothers me is, and I will take this on, is Democrats spend an enormous amount of time raising money. And I have, for those people who are kind enough to donate, and we appreciate it very much, I got to ask you a favor. Do not take up so much time, and I mean this very seriously, time of the candidates. If I have anything to say about it, they're going to be going to Kansas and Mississippi and Alabama, where they're not going to be raising money. They're going to be talking to working people. So we need financial support, but we don't have the time to spend an evening with 10 people. We need your financial help, but you have to allow serious people in politics to go out and start talking to working people so that we can transform the politics of this country. All right?
Is that a yes for 2020?
So no comment for 2020. It's a statement that, it is a statement that we have to worry, believe me, about 2017 and 2018. And again, let me repeat what I have said throughout the campaign, and I believe absolutely from the bottom of my heart. Politics is not about a person. We transformed this country not by electing some guy or woman to be president. We transformed this country when millions of people stand up and fight back. That will result in good leadership on top. So the goal right now is not to worry about who's going to be running in 2020 or 2080. The goal now is to mobilize millions of people around the progressive agenda.
And finally, many people are deeply concerned about the two-party duopoly. You yourself are an independent or a socialist. Would you ever consider the third party run, joining with the Green Party?
I did that. In Vermont, as many know, I defeated Democrats and Republicans to become mayor, defeated Democrats and Republicans to make it into the Congress. Recent years, Democrats have been more sympathetic. And I've been a member of the Democratic caucus for 25 years. So right now, I would not have accepted the position of leadership if I was not serious about fundamentally reforming the Democratic Party. So that's where my head is right now.
Okay. Thank you. Bernie, the last question is,
this is your fourth last question.
For people who are feeling deeply discouraged right now,
yes.
What did you learn from your campaign this time around?
Good question.
Where you almost won.
Let me just say this, and the feeling of this, I wouldn't use the word discouragement, the feeling of maybe frustration, depression, all of which is valid. But here's what I hope that everybody remembers. Anybody who knows anything about American history, think about what this country, and I don't mean to be ultra-patriotic here, but think about the issues that we had to confront. Think about 120 years ago, there were children, kids 12, 10 years old, working in factories, losing their fingers. People fought back. They fought to create unions. Think about the women's movement. Think about the civil rights movement. Think about the gay rights movement. Think about the environmental movement. Think about all of the hurdles that those folks had to overcome. We were, during the course of the campaign, Amy, I don't know if you know this. I didn't know it until last year. We were in Birmingham, Alabama. And all of you, probably remember the horrific bombing that took place in Birmingham. Remember that, where 4 children were killed? I did not know until I was at that church that month in Birmingham, do you know how many bombings there were in that month? Testing you, Amy.
200?
No. But there were a lot. Point being, what's the point? The point is, I thought there was one terrible bombing. There were 13 bombings. That city was under siege by terrorists who did not want to see the Voting Rights Act passed. And people fought back. So where we are now is at a difficult moment. I don't want to minimize the difficulties facing us. But throughout history, serious people have fought back. That's where we are now, and that is exactly what we have to do. It is not acceptable, it really is not, for people to throw their hands up and say, oh, I'm depressed, I'm giving up. It's not about you. It's about the future of this planet. It's about your kids and your grandchildren. It is about American democracy. It is about some very fundamental issues. And nobody in this room or in this country has a right to say, I give up. On the other hand, you got to jump in and start fighting.
That's former Democratic presidential candidate, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, who's now in the leadership of the Democratic Party in the Senate, even though he's an independent socialist. He's author of a new book. It's called Our Revolution. I interviewed him Monday night at the Free Library of Philadelphia. To watch Bernie Sanders' full speech before we actually spoke, you can go to democracynow.org.